Yes, the colonized, woke, secular liberal lobby has been creating multiple fake narratives to destroy the culture and integrity of Bharat. One of the narratives that has been running that yoga has got nothing to do with Sanatana Hindu Dharma, it's just a physical exercise. Congress's mouthpiece, National Herald, once cited that if yoga is Hindu, then algebra is Islamic and gravity is Christian. Greta Thunberg's world-famous toolkit instructed her to destroy the image of yoga and chai in Bharat. Such narratives are built to secularize and colonize yoga and take yoga away from its Hindu roots and merely use it as a business tool. At such times, isn't it difficult to find a yoga teacher who will guide you on the path of yoga with ethics, value, and tradition? So, do you find a teacher who has many followers and has fancy yoga clothes, and does fancy asanas, or do you find a teacher who knows the science, spirituality, philosophy of yoga with the relation of Sanatana Hindu Dharma? What happens when you take Hindu Dharma away from yoga? Why is Hindu phobia coming in the field of yoga, and what is the relation between Sanatana Hindu Dharma and yoga? That is what we are here to discuss here in today's live. If this topic interests you, then this live is for you. Jai Hind, Jai Shri Krishna to all the students and viewers of the social media world. मैं दुर्गा सावंत आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूँ आज की इस चर्चा में, where we are going to be discussing about the relationship between yoga and Sanatana Hindu Dharma with Dr. Kapil Kapadia, who also goes by the name Yog Acharya Vishnu Vallabha. Dr. Kapil Kapadia is also co-founder and owner at Bhavan. I'm sorry, it's very difficult for me to pronounce this, but he is a founder and owner at Bhavan Corp, where he gives language and corporate solutions. You can check out his work on his website. He's also a behavioral facility trainer, corporate yoga trainer, Mandarin expert, voiceover artist, and a spiritual coach. He has done his PhD in Mandarin and medical yoga and is now pursuing his MA in Vedas and has explored many parts of yoga and is now on a journey and a mission to spread the knowledge of Hatha and Dhyan yoga for human well-being. He believes that yoga is not just a physical exercise, it is the culture and the tradition of our nation, and we as the citizens of this nation should practice yoga and make it our lifestyle and make Bharat Atmanirbhar. This thought of his really intrigued me to invite him to this live and discuss about the topic that we are going to be discussing about. So let's invite the globe-trotting yogi Dr. Kapil Kapadia onto the live and discuss about the relationship between yoga and Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Waiting for Namaskar.
Namaste. Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har Mahadev. Finally we connected.
Yes, been quite some time.
Thank you so much for joining in. And also, I would like to, before we start, I would like to thank you for guiding so many people with the lovely knowledge of meditation and the practices that you teach them. Thank you so much for spreading love and knowledge.
Thank you so much. I am just a vehicle to spread it. It's all through the divine entity that it is happening on its own.
Absolutely. Anyone like you would say that. But for you and your viewers also, welcome to all the viewers. We are going to start the discussion. Like the topic is the relationship between yoga and Sanatana Hindu Dharma or Hinduism or Hindu culture as we understand. Okay. So first thing before we start, I would want to ask you, why is your Insta handle named Dev Desha Dharma? You are a yogi who runs an Insta handle with the name Dev Desha Dharma. So I want to know why that.
I knew this was coming because a lot of people have asked me this. Deva, Desh, and Dharma, the three entire entities that are close to my heart. They should be close to everybody's heart because in our culture we've always been taught that God is supreme, and then nation comes first, and then of course religion is something which is personal, but also we need to wear it on our sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
It is very interesting to note, if you know, that it's only the Jews and the Hindus who have this concept of motherland. There is no other country in this world who can ever think of a concept or looking at your own country as a motherland. They may call it a fatherland at times, but definitely no concept of a Ma or a Bharat Mata like we say here. So the Jews also have the similar concept. So Desh and Dharm is close to my heart because, like I said, I am very spiritual. I'm also very religious. I do my sadhanas and my pujas and everything regularly, intensively. So of course God comes first, and Desh, because nation comes first above everything else. There is no religion, there is no other concept that will take precedence before the concept of nationhood and Mother Earth as such, and of course Bharat Mata, and then Dharm. We all come from the Sanatan Sanatan Dharm, or the Hindu tradition, from one of the oldest and continuous civilization. So
Mm-hmm.
what better could it be than taking this name? Mind you, I had a very different name before. It was a Yogi Bhogi, because at that time I was still dappling between the Grihasth ashram and staying in the Charachar and the regular world, and balancing also on the other side and trying to be a yogi. So I was trying to find a balance between the real world and the yogic world. And then it struck me later as I, delved into the depths of Vedas and other readings and stuff. So I decided to take on this name. So that's about it. That's the only reason.
So you connected yoga with the nation, like how Swami Vivekananda did, basically.
Yes,
Uh,
yoga is definitely related to nation building, especially with the youth.
mm, yeah, right. Yoga is related to nation building. Yes, absolutely, I agree to that. So, okay, so there is an effort done by the Western scholars and the Western yogis to separate yoga from Hindu Dharma. Okay, what has been your observation in your journey of teaching yoga about this?
Oh yes, this has been an ongoing effort, and they go out on a limb to do this as much as they can. For time immemorial, we've seen this, and forget about the Western scholars. We have people in our own country, our own Indians, traditional Sanatani yogis, who also prescribe to this concept that yoga has nothing to do with Hinduism or the Hindu tradition or the Hindutva way of life. Definitely, yoga has its utpatti in all of this, and there is a cohesive connection that has to happen. Times I have definitely met a lot of people who have vociferously argued with me, fought with me for this, saying that no, how can you have the connection there?
Mm-hmm.
So I have often asked people the same thing, that if you have your favorite meal in front of you and you eat that meal, how are you going to experience that meal if you don't have the sense of smell, the sense of touch, and the sense of taste? Correct?
Correct.
Then imagine the kind of meal that you will be eating. How is it going to feel to you? So it's the same thing. If you take Hinduism, Hindutva, Hindu culture out of yoga, what is left is just mere exercises.
Right. Right. Right.
So yes, vociferously I've been trying to spread this and dispel this rumor that there is no connection. There has to be a definite connection, and there is. I also visit the United States a couple of times because I have extended family there. So when I go there and teach yoga voluntarily in a couple of places, you'll be surprised to see that I have always found two groups of people. And I'm talking about the Westerners. One group of people who will vociferously fight with this and say that there is no connection. And there is one who accept it like, they are born Sanatanis when they are not, when they may be Christians or from other religions, but they openly embrace this. So it is the need of the hour to, make people aware that you need to understand this. And the more you read upon this, it will take you closer. There are lots of granths, there are lots of things written in the Vedas, there are lots of spiritual books that talk about this. So I think as a small, tiny spot on the map,
Mm.
I look at myself like just a dot in all of this. I'm playing my role by spreading this knowledge and making people sure that the connection is way deeper than we think.
Wow, yeah. So that basically right now they are trying to disconnect yoga and Hindu culture, and what you are doing is making sure you keep it connected, at least for the
Correct.
students who come to you and learn from you. Wow. So you have included our Hindu culture in our yoga, in the yoga practices that you teach, and that's how you're
Correct.
studying. Beautiful.
I,
So,
I, I wouldn't I would want to sorry I would want to share one example here. I wouldn't name the person or the handle. There is a very famous yogi, American yogi on Instagram who has thousands of followers, and he advertises. I just saw his advertisement yesterday on the Instagram story saying that come join me for yoga without all the show of the mantras and the chanting and all of that. So that really put me off, and I did send him a stinker to that, to which I haven't received a reply. But you keep coming across such people. So
yeah, so basically you do yoga, but then you remove the mantras out of it, you remove all the Sanskrit out of it, and then just use
correct,
whatever
correct.
you need.
So there was even an
Right.
article. There was even an article during the lockdown, or just a year before the lockdown, from the Midwest in the United States. The Midwest in the United States is supposed to be a very conservative area. Okay, from there are very conservative Christians, born again Christians, and all of that. So the states there started to promote yoga, but it is so ridiculous. They thought of doing that without the chanting. So instead of Om, they wanted to chant something else. And instead of the opening prayer, they wanted to say the grace and call upon Jesus and Mary, and ridiculous stuff like this. So you just can't do this. This doesn't make sense at all, and
Mm,
it just takes the sense of it away. So all
correct.
we need to do is keep pushing for it and saying that there is a connection there. So.
Yeah. Right. So according to you, what will happen if we teach the yoga practices without the essence of yoga, Hinduism?
Rightly, like you said at the beginning, also, if you are practicing yoga without these practices, without the sense of Hindutva and Hinduism and the culture, it is just merely doing exercises. Today,
Mm,
Instagram is full of all fancy and shank poses by the Westerners, especially the whites. They have their heads turned upside down and their legs going up against the gravity, and doing poses in awkward positions, and trying to show off, saying that they are the only ones who perhaps can do that. So that is nothing but calisthenics or just exercises, because there is no mind, breath, and body amalgamation or an alignment. There is nothing to do with the essence coming from the Vedas, the teachings coming from the spiritual gurus, and how do we inculcate this? The power of the mantras. Mantras are extremely powerful. If
mm,
chanted the right way, they work on certain parts of the body, on certain cells of the body, for certain maladies or sicknesses that you have. But overall, also for good health, we chant mantras. So obviously, if you're not going to rather use this and run away from all of this, it's just not going to make any sense. So you
right.
either do it to its total entirety, like I said, or you just don't do it. You just can't slip into the fads that we have now, like beer yoga and dog yoga and naked yoga and all these ridiculous stuff that is being spread across.
Yoga means do yoga with paws, people with animals.
Correct.
Yoga. Okay.
Correct. One of my students was just telling me this 3 days ago, that this is a ridiculously new concept, where people say if you have a backache or if you have issues with the back and you walk into this Poga class, you sleep on your stomach, and then there is a dog that stands on your back, and he's trained to kind of give you a massage, or trained to walk on your back with his paws. How is that going to be therapeutic? How is that going to help you? What is the paws going to do there?
Arya has done PhD and MA in Vedas, but the dog will walk on someone and they'll be fine. It's like
Absolutely. And there are people signing up for this. When in 2017 I visited my cousins in New York, One of my cousin got me this pamphlet and he said, "Oh, we must go and try this beer yoga." I mean, this was the month of March, which is spring in New York, so it's pretty hot. So he said, "Let's try beer yoga." And I said, "I'm not going to try this." And then he did go himself, tried it up, and came back. And there were ridiculous videos of people into the warrior pose, and instead of extending the hand forward, they had a pint of beer, and they used to take a sip and then extend the hand forward and get into the next asana. And this was pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And this is unacceptable, if you ask me. I'm taking it on a light mode right now, but it is absolutely unacceptable.
Unacceptable. This is appropriation of yoga. It has been so it's important for the youth. Why are we talking over here with Dr. Kapil? Is that the students or viewers who are watching should know that who to learn yoga from. There are very fancy things going out there. There are pseudopaths of yoga. This is happening, and you should know who to learn yoga from. That is the reason why we are talking today. So appropriation of yoga you have clearly seen in your journey. Now this
Correct.
appropriation of yoga, what would you tell the how to recognize this appropriation and move away from it? You know what should be, because a lot of people just get into beer yoga, dog yoga, chal jaake kar lete hai. What are the side effects of doing these things?
So see, you really get away from the real essence of what it is, and you get carried away with such fads, and it really doesn't make sense. So people need to understand. They need to do a little bit of research. If you can spend time, searching and going through nonsense videos on YouTube, why not really spend some productive time to find out what yoga really is about? What is the real yoga? Where does the yoga concept come from? What are the asanas? What are the things that is required to have a good body, in the sense a good system within you? How pranayam works for you? What are the meditation techniques? But no, people don't want to go into that because, especially the youth, because I don't blame them in a way, because their hormones are raging at that time, and all they need is something which will pep them up and keep them enthusiastic all throughout. So I think, Durga, at times I've also more than 60-70% of the times when I interact with the youth, I get this notion, and I also get to hear from them, that yoga is meant only for the old people. You finish your 50s, or you go get into your 60s, into your retirement life, you have nothing to do. Just like maybe our grandparents used to go to the satsang or to the bhajan kirtan classes. Similarly, you are over the hill, so go and do yoga. This is a notion that we need to dispel also.
Right.
So I think there is a need for a lot of propaganda, and I'm using the propaganda in a positive word, in the positive sense. We need to make a lot of noise about what real yoga is about, and invite the youth to join, to understand, and even if they are not ready for it, at least spread the word and see if somebody else is ready to take on that movement and take it forward.
Right. So what is that you teach exactly? Can you tell the viewers that what all are the things that you teach?
Right. So what I teach is I come from the classical Hatha yoga background. So I teach Hatha yoga. I'm also trained in Ashtanga yoga. But in the Hatha yoga practices, we do everything that is required, right? From the asana practice to pranayam to meditation to mudras. There are a lot of yogis that do not teach mudras, simply because the benefits are a little slower compared to the ones that would happen with an asana, and people are not very patient. But I do inculcate mudras also. And then with all of this, I tie it up with a story or with some essence to the Vedas or the spiritual texts. Like, for example, there are most asanas in the Hatha Yoga where we have had the Saptarishis performing them and then doing penance in them for 3 years and 4 years and 5 years continuously. And then how that pertains, how it works on your kundalini, how it works on your inner system. And that is, I think, when I talk about these things, definitely, if not 2 or 3, but at least 1 out of 10 persons come out to me and tell me that, I'm interested in the meditation part. I'm interested in the spirituality. I'm interested in the history, in the Vedas, in the, Puranas. And then they find their true calling. I think I have had these experiences with such people, that this is the time that they realize that, oh, I'm cut out for meditation, maybe not the asanas. So let me go down this path and make a career in meditation, or if not a career, at least for my own self growth and development, I will do a lot of meditation. And that is the time when then I do a lot of hand holding for them once they
Mm-hmm.
choose what they want to do, once they know what their path is, and then push them ahead to self realize and go ahead with their self practice.
Right.
So,
And use it for their day-to-day life and their applications, to be a better person in a day-to-day life, do their job well, enjoy their day. Oh my God,
correct.
very nice, right. So you are teaching the traditional parts of yoga, and there are pseudo parts of yoga on the both sides. So you tell me now how this, like I spoke about the secularization, this is practically your getting in political agenda in our spiritual practices. How does this affect our nation and the youth of our nation, according to you?
Um, I am not very politically inclined, but yes, when it comes to something that will have an effect on my religion, on
Hmm.
my thinking perspective, on yoga, on Hindu culture, then yes, I will be up in arms about it. So,
Right.
too much of interference of the secularistic attitude into yoga is something that I will not be tolerating, and I do not tolerate. I've had instances where I have actually asked people politely to leave my sessions
Wow.
because of their secularistic policies, because of the fact that they have questioned why do I have to chant this and why do I have to say these mantras and why do I have to be so religious in the session.
Hmm.
So I've always told them that you have more than other options to explore. So you're most welcome to leave my session. So I think this is exactly what we need to be, wary about. Because see, at the end of the day, I'm here also to earn a little bit of money, but that does not mean I will compromise on my ethics and my values when it comes to yoga, darshana, and making it aware of what it really is. So yes, politics in the right sense, when there is an interference from the Hindu outfits that we have, which are there to keep the flag flowing high, yes, they are most welcome. But again, I wouldn't prescribe that we would want to force it down somebody's throat. So
Hmm.
again, to give you an example, when I teach yoga in a particular gym in Pune, for where I've been teaching for quite a few years, there have been certain cases when the trainers outside have sent some of the members into the yoga session, saying that okay, जाओ आज योगा कर लो, देख लो आपको कैसे होता है, नहीं किया होगा कभी तो कर लो, एक बार बैठ के देख लो. So people coming sometimes reluctantly, and the moment they walk in, I'm a behavioral trainer, 25 years of behavioral training experience, so I can read people when they come in. So when somebody walks in, from the body language and from the face, the first question I ask them is, "Have you been forced into this room? Have you been forced to go in?" So they said, "Actually, yes." So I said, "Please, you may exit." So we don't want such people because they bring in the negative energies, and these
Right.
energies are spread out to the people who really want to do something and learn something, and then it just goes spiraling down the wrong way. So
Right.
I think coming back again to your question, yes, the political interference or assistance or taking part in these things to a certain extent, not being extreme right wing, but finding a middle path, and then preaching yoga and the traditions is something that I'm definitely for.
So it's usually said that yogis can't be aggressive or yogis can't have to be always humble. I think you have broken that norm and
Yes.
been very, very
Yes, yes, very much so. I have a post which I keep posting every year because it comes up in my Facebook memories. This post I had posted the first time in 2017, where it shows me drinking a Guinness, a glass of Guinness. At that time, this was way back when I used to somehow find time to have something. And I was wearing something very black and sunshades and sitting in an open cafe. And that's when I put in this post saying that all yogis don't wear white or saffron or chant Om all the time. You have to find a balance between your personal life, between the life that you spend with your family, your circle of friends, and at the same time do your sadhana and aspects. So I think I don't want to bring about any other example or point out to somebody else because you lead by example. So I do my own spiritual practices, my own yogic practices in the morning. I always show my Hindutva by wearing the tilak and all the. I am into crystals and a lot of things and therapy as well. So you'll find me with those rakshas and crystals But that doesn't mean I am conservative or I come from a hardcore Sanatani background where I'm not open to meeting out a few friends and going out for coffee. Um,
Correct.
if I have the right set of friends and if it is not, very, what do you say, if it's not very over the top, I may even go to a discotheque for some time, just spend some time with them and come out, as long as it doesn't clash with my ethics, with my line of thinking. I think finding a balance is the best thing, and that's why perhaps I had that previous name for my handle, which was Yogi and a Bhogi. So you find the right mix and the right balance, and that's why in my behavioral trainings also I tell people, as well as in my yogic sessions also I tell people that try the asanas. Never say no to an asana. If you fail, if you fall, if you hurt yourself, that's absolutely okay. Don't do it. But when I introduce a new asana to you or a new concept to you in training, never be closed about it and say, "Oh, I don't want to do it." Have a closed just throw out that closed attitude and be open to embracing things, and I think that will take you ahead much more in life. The more you travel, since I've traveled a lot, the more you travel, I think your horizon of thinking also opens up and you become more accepting of things,
Mm-hmm.
and you become a little bit more what do you say, uh, you become more quiet and less aggressive than what perhaps I was a few years ago. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
like you rightly said, I have dispelled those notions.
Yes, you have. And modern yogi is what I am understanding over here, that students today, a lot of people think that being a yogi means wearing saffron, doing certain rituals in certain way, all of that. No, you can do both. You have to manage your modern lifestyle and your Vedic lifestyle, which you are clearly doing. The student and the viewers who are watching who want to find that, because a lot of times they're like, do you do yoga? I do, but I do only asan. It doesn't work like that. You need to have yoga is a lifestyle. You can't just do
Correct.
one thing out of it. And you need the right kind of teachers to tell you if you want to make yoga your lifestyle. And Dr. Kapil is the right kind of teacher over here who will teach you how to balance Vedic and modern lifestyle and move towards your future. Because a lot of times what
Correct.
I am understanding is understanding yoga, they are going way too much into past. इतना पास में चले जा रहे हैं कि उनको समझ नहीं आ रहा है आगे क्या करना है योग की विद्या से so the right kind of people.
There has to be the balance. Very true. So it is always said that if let's say one a person is very religious or very spiritual and he's always doing a lot of meditation, a lot of bhakti yoga, penance and doing a lot of mantra and all of that. But in his personal life, he is not a very social person or tends to, shout at people, be aggressive all the time. And I'm sorry to use the word, but if you treat others around you like shit, and then you want to say that you are very spiritualistic or very religious and you are very God oriented, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Because yoga works translates into real life also. You need to show those tendencies and that kind of behavior in your everyday life. That itself is yoga. What is yoga? But being yourself, going back to your true nature.
Right, going back to your true nature is what yoga is, and that's the question on everybody's mind: who am I, what is my nature?
Correct.
Right, so the common question asked right now is who am I don't know who am I. So yoga is the most easiest way to find your truest self. And okay, so our country is one of the youngest country in the world, I believe, and the youth over here doesn't practice yoga. Okay, so you not practicing yoga has led to a lot of problems, obviously, because of which there are so many suicide and mental health issues in our country. So as International Day is coming close, what would you like to tell the students so that they take up yoga as their lifestyle?
That's a very good question, and good you brought that up. Yes, because we've been seeing these things with the political agenda, and I don't want to get into that, but the last 70, 75 years, and even prior to independence, showing or believing in a very Sanatani kind of a lifestyle has always been something to be to be ashamed of. So if somebody wears a tilak or somebody wears some kind of a crystal or a rudraksha and goes out to his friends and peers in the society, he may be ridiculed at or made fun of or maybe mocked at. So the person also tends to, not practice these things. So there is nothing bad about practicing these things. You need to know where your roots come from, because unless you don't know your roots, you're not going to understand the basis of how you want to take your life ahead. So yes, as the International Day of Yoga is right around the corner on the 21st of June, I would recommend everybody to practice yoga. And like you rightly said, it is not only about asanas, it is also about meditation, it is also about pranayam. This will have an effect on your mind, on your psyche, on your body. So if you have anxiety issues, or let's say you're a student and you have exams frequently, and every time an exam is around the corner, you get palpitations, and you unnecessarily overthink and feel that you're going to fail, and or if you fail, what's going to happen. So these are just examples that I'm sharing. So such kind of thoughts can also be totally demolished and thrown out of your mind by being one with yourself, by practicing meditation, by calming your mind, by doing yoga abhyas for your good body health, and amalgamating all of this together. So, like you said, pranayam is also essential, because we see cases of suicide and we see people with a lot of mental health issues. So I feel that you should guide them properly, and that's where my medical yoga therapy comes into the picture. So I have a lot of patients, yet I haven't treated anybody as yet with mental issues as such, apart from just anxiety and a little bit of depression. But I have a lot of patients who come to me with hypertension, high BP, and heart conditions, for whom I work with medical therapy, medical yoga therapy. Most of it is spiritual and meditation related. So I would encourage everybody to, go down that road at least once. And if you like it, I'm sure you get hooked onto it. And do try it. It does make a difference to your life. And that's how you inculcate a yogic lifestyle. Getting up on time, sleeping on time, eating your meals on time, having a healthy practice of yoga, all of this will make you healthy. So do it. That is what I would say.
That's the thing. For International Day of Yoga is coming close, and it is important that we. This is that day when एक ही दिन पे योग नहीं करना है, but that is that day you remind yourself that कि I need to take up yoga as my lifestyle from here on. It's a very good time to begin. You mentioned about medical yoga. Could you tell the viewers about what medical yoga is?
Yes, medical yoga was propounded by Dr. Karandikar. He was a medical doctor who later found his calling in Sanatan Dharma and the yogic practices. So he went to the ashram lifestyle, and he learned a lot of. In fact, he mastered the Vedas, and he then incorporated his medical knowledge into the yogic field, because there are certain barriers when it comes to certain illnesses, where in spite of taking medicines and a lot of therapy, medical science has no answer for it, and that's the time when it is a little too late, when people turn to nothing else but yoga. And that's when Dr. Karandikar thought of incorporating a lot of props and things that will help people to calm their mind and to align their bodies. So if somebody has a scoliosis problem, scoliosis is where the spine is automatically shaped in an S curve. These are the things where we would give traction to the person and work on his mind a little bit, because these people also have a little bit of inferiority complex because of the way they look. They don't want to go out in the public, and they don't want to be seen in the public. And of course, they are being miserable day in and day out because of the suffering that they are going through. So medical yoga is a total field where we take care of these bigger conditions, especially physical conditions of the body, and also things, psychosomatic diseases, and things like hypertension, heart, and all of that. So it has to be a therapy where we ask the patient to come in for a certain number of sittings. So they come to us, and then we give them that therapy, and then they go back, they try to incorporate it, and depending on the severity of their malady, the sittings can vary from a week to a month to 2 years, and so on and so forth. There have been instances where people with 350 and 400 levels of sugar have brought them down to their normal sugar levels within 2.5 to 3 months, all because of yogic practices, especially mind related. Everything starts here. not in the body.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I'm understanding here is it is a wonderful blend of the East and the West. The best of the East and the best of the West. It's like that. The Eastern philosophy and the Western philosophy. Medical yoga is a blend of both. And the students or the youth who are viewers, you should understand yoga is not just going to a yoga studio and doing exercises. If you're going
Correct.
through some issues, and you don't want to take medicines, allopathic medicines, or don't want to go towards extremely full modern therapy, or you can use medical yoga, you can use yoga therapy to get an intervention and heal whatever you are going through, right? So medical yoga is what I understand is the best of the East and the best of the West. You can't ignore either. Both of them have discovered certain things that are important for the human well-being, and Dr. Yogis
But
like you are.
most have been discovered by the East.
I'm very happy you said it. I support this. Most has been discovered by the
Discovered
East
and then stolen by the West. Yeah.
and then the U-turn theory has come back to us. But we are very kind. Instead of fighting with them, we held hands and we said, okay, you think this is yours, we'll come together because our people believe in you. Right now, our own people believe in modern sciences more than yogic sciences or Vedic sciences, which is a very sad state. That if I talk to a student in the US, they believe in Vedic sciences more than modern sciences. But a student in India will believe in modern sciences but not in Vedic sciences. Like, no, Ayurveda se kuch nahi hota. Oh, no, I want to pop a pill and be fine.
Absolutely. People run about, when they're constructing new houses, they run behind Feng Shui, which is a Chinese art. But why do you do that when we have our own strong Vastu Shastra?
Correct. So this concept that we're talking is called colonization of yoga. It has been colonized. It is told to you. It's been appropriated in such a way that this is very regressive. It does nothing to you. It's better you take a crocin instead of doing nadi shuddhi. It will be that is better. You've been programmed in such a way, right? You've been programmed in
Correct.
such a way. And over a period of time, you believe that नहीं योग से तो कुछ नहीं होता, मैं बूढ़ा होने के बाद योग कर लूंगा. But I would like to add here, Dr. Kapil over here is 50 years of age and he looks younger than me, I would say. He feels younger than me. He teaches young people and does more work than any of the students must be doing in 3 days together in one day. Age is something that you have to understand. Yoga may not give you the effects that the modern sciences give, but it gives in effects in such a way that when you're sitting at the age of 50, you can talk to someone who is 15 and
Correct. And
yeah.
80.
Yes.
Right from 15 to 80, you can relate to them in the same manner.
Correct, because you become one with yourself. You are not your body, you're not your mind, you're just a soul trying to help. And this concept is beautiful. And so being young, आज अगर आपको लगता है मैं नाड़ी शुद्धि करने से मेरा पिंपल नहीं जाएगा, लेकिन नाड़ी शुद्धि करने से जब मैं 50 होंगी तभी आई विल बी लुकिंग लाइक आई एम 30. ये याद रखिए. Yeah, and that is the example that we have over here of Dr. Kapil Kapadia, that he's 50 and he is more energetic than any one of us and does so many sessions for corporates, in gyms, for students. That is the effect of yoga. Yeah, it may not show you effects immediately, but it grows in you and spiritually, intellectually, everything improves in your life. And while moving from this journey, you need good teachers. So any of the students and viewers who are watching this, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's not about finding a teacher. Wow, iska YouTube channel 1 million followers hai iske paas. Oh my God, this one wears amazing yoga brand clothes. I will take her or his classes. No. Make sure that you do the study of your teacher. Do they come from the Sanatana and Vedic background, and then connect with them and then start learning. It's a slow process, but you will grow into a wonderful human being who will be useful for the society and the nation, like how Dr. Kapil Kapadia is over
Thank you
here.
so much. I put the same feelings about you too. So.
Thank you so much. But then yes, when you told me you're 50, it took me. I'm like, I'm gonna tell everybody that ठीक है तुम बोलते हो ना योग से कुछ नहीं होता, इनको देखो जरा आप 50 पे ये कर तुम क्या कर रहे हो 50 पे भी. So not being an ageist, people will tell me that, but important, please. International Day of Yoga is coming. Every day, everyone is saying, कल से मैं चालू करती हूँ, कल से
Yeah,
मैं
I'll
चालू करता
start
हूँ
on a Monday, and that Monday never comes in. So
comes. At such times, you are supposed to contact someone like Dr. Kapil Kapadia and tell them, I want to take sessions with you. Start few sessions at least so that you understand the essence of Sanatan and Yog together. अभी आपको योग अलग लगता है और सनातन अलग लगता है. ये इकट्ठा करके कैसे प्रैक्टिसेस होते हैं ये एक्सपीरियंस करिए, उसके हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स देखिए एंड देन स्प्रेड द वर्ड टू द अदर्स दैट यू नीड टू लर्न दिस काइंड ऑफ योग. वो बियर योगा एंड पॉ योगा, other pseudo paths of yoga, Islamic yoga, Christian yoga, holy yoga. So many yogas have come. Don't fall for it. We are not dismissing them. That's their business. But it is our humble request as yoga teachers to the viewers that please make sure that you learn from the right kind of teachers because it
right.
is a matter of your body, mind, and soul, isn't it? Yes.
Very well said. Yes.
So, okay, before we go, I would want you to tell the viewers if they want to join your classes, sessions, workshop, or want you to take your work, take a workshop in their office, where should they contact you or enroll?
Uh, well, I'm all over the social media, so you will find me everywhere. But yes, you can contact me right here on my Instagram, dev.desh.dharm, or you can also WhatsApp or call me at 992-335-1543. I'll repeat that in a bit. That's the easiest way to reach out to me or message me on Instagram. I go with my spiritual name on my Facebook channel, which is Yogacharya Vishnu Vallabh. I repeat my number again, 992-335-1543. So I do offer online, offline classes. There are also one-on-one sessions, and whatever that suits you, you can pick it up. If you want a counseling, we can do that before you want to start. I'll always be there to help you through with this journey.
Yes. He'll guide you perfectly on the path of yoga, and I assure you that you will not be misguided, and you will be taken towards liberation in the right way. There are multiple ways to reach liberation. सब सही नहीं होते. तो सही है वो इस्तेमाल करें और उसके लिए सही वाले टीचर लगते हैं. Before we go, yes, this topic was about yoga and Sanatan Hindu Dharma and the relation of it. A lot of people say that this topic is such that ki yoga is for all. हाँ, yoga is for all, but it is invented by the Hindus. It is invented by the Sanatani Hindus. But सबके लिए है. लेकिन ये भारत की संस्कृति है, भारत के संस्कार है, इन्वेंशन ऑफ भारत. एंड आई बिलीव दैट me and Dr. Kapadia, the same message that we want to give out to the viewers is that on this International Day of Yoga, proudly roar that you are Sanatani practicing yoga. Tell the world that this yoga comes from my nation and we have given it to you for your healing. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu nirmaya, sarve.
Sarve Sarve Bhatani question, Ma question,
So we to the world to heal, and I hope that the world heals. And for that, important is that every Sanatani practices yoga, not just asana. You know and understand philosophy, science, and spirituality of yoga. Only then you can say that you are a yogi.
Correct.
Okay.
That's why in English also I say that yoga is for everybody and every body.
Yes, everybody and everybody for real. So yes, so we'll
Doesn't
wrap
matter
up.
what shape you are in or what size you are in. That's why it's for everybody and everybody.
Yes, just do it. Just begin, because now it's no more about losing weight and improving your skin and doing things for your looks. Okay, it is so that you protect this as your culture of your nation. It is high time that we protect this culture as our nation's culture, because a lot of people are stealing it and making it beer yoga and Christian yoga and Jesus yoga and this yoga and that yoga. और आपको कर्म योगा, भक्ति योगा, ज्ञान योगा ये क्या है ये भी मालूम नहीं है, ये सही नहीं है. Know the traditional paths of yoga with Dr. Kapil Kapadia. You can check out his work on his website and also contact him on his Instagram ID and take his sessions. And I'm sure you have something interesting on ID International Day of Yoga. You all can join him on that day too. Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Wrap up over here. Thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Dharmo rakshati rakshitah. Hari Om Tat Sat. I wish everybody a well-rested Sunday. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Ram.